Hello. It is Tuesday, March 16th, 2021, and this is Yormish Workout Cycle 6, Chapter 3, Iteration 2. Okay, why Tuesday instead of Wednesday? Wednesday is going to be busy. Before we do all this, well, let's go through the review of lower body Wednesday, what was supposed to happen tomorrow but is going to happen today. Squat machine, Romanian deadlift. Let's see, there we go. And then leg extension, single leg calf raise, lateral single leg raise. And then the bonus, I'm thinking about doing another random amount of screw stomach twists, which I tried yesterday, which seemed kind of fun, felt interesting. Not going to count, just going to kind of feel it. All right, let's put that back where it is. Wednesday, lower body. One of the most important things to do here is not waste your time. So there's a public service announcement. Please do not waste your time watching this video unless you have a very specific reason to watch this video. I would hate to waste your time, and I am relatively sure that there might be one, maybe two people on this planet that might actually get use out of this video. So unless you're one of those people, or unless you feel like just having something weird in the background, I don't see this video serving too many purposes for too many people. Going to do a little bit of cleanup, setup. This is going to be necessary for the last exercise, so we'll just go ahead and put that there. I'm going to practice the fine art of being quiet, but also going to look over the numbers and change a few things. So it was 10 and 6. Okay, remember the numbers 10 and 6. Also, switch this out for the Romanian deadlifts. Yes, I am on the right number. Sweet. All right, that is done. Didn't need to do anything on that. Going to hydrate a little bit. Man, I'm feeling good today. Calves are still a little bit sore from Friday. Sore is the wrong word. Tight. Actually doing the bit where I lift my leg like that, under no weight, easy. Backwards, a little bit tight, so I don't know if I'm having a full range of motion with my calves going back and forth, but putting a little weight on that, going up just like this feels interesting, and leaning forward with my legs straight, a little interesting too. All right, so what were the numbers for me to remember? 10, 6, and 40. All right. Hopefully those will be good numbers. Hopefully I'm not at a loss for things. Gotta switch out a few things. All right, so I'm gonna take one of these off. Wow, that's heavy. Almost want to take two of these off for the single leg calf raises, but I'm just going to take one of these off. That is a lot easier doing it that way. This might be a bit much for single leg calf raises. Might be taking things a little too far here. I know a lot of people use a lot more weight, but just seeing if I can hold that in one hand. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's like a farmer's carry. That's not bad at all. Ugh. All right, good to know. Whew. Turn that on. And the 6 and the 10 were the most important things here. Well, since we're here, we're going to do a little bit of the good old stretch out before we do anything too momentous. I'm going to get on that right now. And then, zipping it right now as well. Well, that's it. Even did the bonus part of the workout, which feels interesting. I'm still getting used to it. That time, my wrist was feeling weird before my stomach was feeling weird, but good thing is I actually kind of felt it in my stomach, so that's kind of nice. So maybe when I get rid of the gut, the muscles underneath there will be slightly more defined, which I think would be nice. It'd be kind of cool to have that at least for a little while. Whew. Anyhow, conventional standards set aside, that was fun. Glad I can tell myself that and largely believe it. All right, so gonna kind of go over everything, think and translate. That was not bad. Yeah, that was a good time. That was glad I checked it off on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. Tomorrow might be a bit busy. Actually excited to go running tomorrow. Strangely enough, gonna get a little bit more in that in my system. Don't worry, I'm gonna mop the floor pretty soon anyway, so that'll be just fine. Wow, this is the real deal. Feeling good about a lot of stuff. So let's see here. The squat machine, I can definitely go higher in weight because I just, instead of turning down the weight, I just did the set of 10. The way this kind of workout's set up, it's still the reverse pyramid situation, just like the Monday and just like the Friday workout. But for lower body, it's only 2 sets, except for the last exercise. The 5th exercise, there's 5 sets. 1 set of 15, 4 sets of 5. So the squat machine, I definitely can turn up. So that is, I'm gonna put a little arrow up the weight. Let's zoom into that. Up the weight. And that feels good to say that. Up the weight. Means I'm getting a bit stronger. All right, Romanian deadlift. That could have been heavier, but gotta be, the lower back is a tricky thing, and I am very gun shy about upping the weight on that stuff, so we're gonna wait on that. Also, that second set was way lighter than that first set, so I mean, relatively speaking, not in absolute numbers, but in relative numbers. And that second set was, 2/3 of the first set. Let's see here. So that can go up, but I'm going to wait on that. Next cycle. Leg extension. I almost want to do leg extension than leg contraction like I've been doing in my full body workouts. I think there's a balance for health in there. That felt pretty good. By the time I got to the second set, there was times I needed, need is an arbitrary word. I really enjoyed pausing within that second set. There was a couple pauses in there. I don't know if I could have pushed through it without the pauses, but then again, be careful of the knees. Don't want to go too heavy with the leg extensions. I realize this motion with too much weight under it is probably a bad idea, so I'm going gentle into that one, really building up the muscles way before I put a lot of pressure on the ligaments. I think it's a great exercise. I just think it's a terrible exercise if you do it dangerously. Really try to push up the weight. I'd rather push up the weight on things like squats and rather just turn up. I do these. I do it, I don't go crazy with repetitions sometimes, just on my own as a challenge. Like, I'm not going to ever do a burnout challenge with just my knees, but what I will do is like those 3 sets of 10 on occasion, kind of up the weight and do it where it's not a burnout. It's kind of a very gentle version of that where I'm at a certain weight. Depending upon how I feel, I'm doing 3 sets of 10. My second set, either I go up or down. Third set, either I go up or down from that. And it's kind of like gently finding my edges, finding those edges of my ability. but not going hard into it, and definitely being able to stop at any time. That's why I like that machine. It's nothing to stop. You're not gonna kill yourself by slowly releasing the weight once you realize you're at a impasse or near failure or at failure. Usually when I'm at failure, I still have enough in the tank. I'm not at pure failure. I got enough to still gently push it down, because I don't want to even do that. Don't want to do anything to shock the knees. Thank goodness it seems like I have good knees. And the whole fitness journey, this started with where I had trying to run with a buddy of mine, and I had it one year, felt something in my knees, and then the next year I didn't really do too much, and then felt it in the other knee. So it was like, oh, and kind of feeling it in both knees, and I was just like, he told me the saying, or the belief, or the concept that every pound of weight that a person loses is 9 pounds of pressure off the knees. So, and I don't know if that's 100% true, but it certainly feels like it is. And I can do the full squats without a problem, and it just really feels a lot better than it used to. So that's good. Single leg calf raises. That was interesting. That higher weight. I did the same stance for the first set, and then switched to the holding the weight in my left hand for the second set. Both of those worked out great. No real problems on there, except for my range of motion. My single leg calf raises are always going to be a slighter, a more shallow range of motion than my, both leg, double leg calf raises. But part of that is just balance. Really hard to find a good balance point where you can go all the way down and all the way up. And also skill. I need to get better skill at going as far down as I can and going up as I can, because there were some repetitions in there where I didn't feel like I barely tipped the scale going downwards as far as like angle. I might have been at 90 degrees. I want to be below that 90 degrees, 95 degrees or whatever it is. And maybe even some of them I might have gone shallow, not even to the 90 degrees. So got to be careful of that. Also try to get up as high as possible. It's a little bit trickier with weight. There's definitely a communication process that's a different communication process with weight, using one leg, than not using any weight and using both legs. One thing I might want to try, just as an intermediary value, is eventually for certain exercises I'm going to get a weight vest, and I'm going to be using that for chin-ups, and for pull-ups. Going to be using that for not very good with the chin-ups, better with the pull-ups, strangely enough, but I'm going to be using that for the pull-ups, going to be using that for some of the dips. Now that I'm feeling, thanks to this week, I'm a little bit more confident in my dips. Also really getting comfortable with that edge range of motion on the dips, but also calf raises. Doing calf raises with a weighted vest, both leg calf raises, is going to be kind of fun. And I actually mean that kind of fun. See how I feel about that, especially after the surprise I had on Friday, and like the happy surprise of those calf raises didn't really wreck me. Every single day I've woken up since then, I've been able to walk. Sometimes when I did a large amount of calf raises, next day or 2 days from that, walking is an interesting situation. Lateral single leg raises. Tried a little bit of signaling myself with my fingers, keeping track of things. Doing something like this means 15. Doing that means 5. Holding out one finger means first set, second set. Getting ready to do third set. Getting on the fourth set, and then doing those. So I think I did that a little bit. Don't need more weight. It seems very easy till I get to the edge of the exercise. As far as I can, not as far as I can go. It seems like I can go a little bit further if I didn't have weight, but that weird angle or edge where my muscle just really doesn't want to push hard beyond a certain angle. So that's probably where the magic lies. That's really where I should be focusing that concentration at, and not just using this, maybe doing some random challenges where I do a couple of my weaker exercises or weaknesses within my exercises. This is certainly one of those for a possible challenge. And also, here's my hypothesis on that. Actually doing that on the ground with weights, and also tucking my leg up. Instead of putting my leg straight, tucking my leg in allows my active leg that's moving up and down to go a little bit further on the downside, and If I needed to, I get more momentum on the upside, but I'm trying to avoid momentum. But if I was just going for numbers and I just like, oh, I need to get 25 of these or whatever, I can, cheat with a little bit of momentum, but it's really not about that. It's not about the numbers for me. It's really about the control aspect. And I even think getting that leg out of the way allows me to get control. What I used to do was put my leg straight and go in front of it and go behind it, which was an interesting exercise all onto itself. But I want, I guess, more primary muscle capacity, so I don't want to play with the angles too much. I really want to get good at that single angle. And here's the other hypothesis I was getting to. Having those wide movement things, having a little bit extra strength on your thighs to go inward and outward laterally, may help with some running, some walking, some balancing. I don't have any balancing issues or anything like that, but it would be nice to be a little bit more tight on certain things. So I think that'll just help with overall health and longevity overall. The bonus, another round of screw stomach twists, and those were done. I don't know how many I did. I did far less than I could have. My left wrist was feeling a little bit tweaked. I kind of, like that last repetition, I kind of had to make a move on my left wrist to readjust it a little bit. Didn't feel in pain or anything, just didn't feel like it was had a good hold on the handle. So, definitely don't want to fall. So, it's also good. It's also a new exercise I'm getting used to. Getting myself in that good position, and I started out with more straight-legged, and it felt a little bit more intense on my stomach when I actually kind of bent my knees a little bit each time. Not going to bend it the full way. Maybe that's better, but from the video I saw, the guy looked like he had his knees, his legs completely straight in the beginning. He had his knees bent in the beginning. Sorry about that. Or he was going straight and then bending them a little, but he certainly didn't make an effort to bend his knees. It was really concentrating on that stomach and hitting it at that weird kind of twist angle, which felt different, felt like something I've neglected for a long time. So, and instead of just doing the Russian twists and what was the other one? Really good bicycle crunches. I like this a little bit better because, hey, I have the equipment for it, and it feels like a little bit of that goes a longer way, and making that mind-body connection, really being able to mentally focus on, squeezing that muscle and using that muscle to make the movement happen, as opposed to trying to use every single other muscle beyond that. So making new connections, establishing new lines of communications, or taking weak lines of communication and making those lines of communication stronger. I think this is a good exercise for that. I could be wrong. This is all hypothesis. This is all, as some people would put it, an N of one, a test group of one, which is not really conducive to the scientific method. Unless you go, the test group is the past version of one and the future version of one, but I'm not going to get so deep into that. Nor do I care to play around with the statistical analytic tools to deal with that. Although I don't even remember what chi-squared was, or what was it, chi-squared? I'm probably not even saying it wrong. Chi-testing, I don't know. Oh man, but there's probably good ways to play with those numbers that are beyond me right now. So hey, it's nice to know that they might exist, and if I need to go deep into that, I have a lot of these numbers written down. One thing that disturbed me is, as soon as I just recently downloaded a patch or whatever, software update for the whole OS on here. So the operating system updated, and then I went into my trusty rusty notebook program, and for like 10 minutes it was just like, not recovering libraries, or like indexing libraries. I can't remember exactly what it said, but it was on the screen. It wouldn't start up. It just kind of started up, and then it went to a screen where a little spot in the screen in the middle where it said something like indexing libraries for better performance. And it just stayed that way. I waited for about maybe 10 minutes. It seemed like a long time of waiting for my notebook program to start, and it didn't. So I didn't shut the whole system off. I didn't shut the iPad down. I just went out and double clipped or whatever and got to the program screen where I can shut off certain programs, scrolled up or shut off the various programs that were running, went back into it. It was fine. So thank goodness for that. So I can recommend the application that is GoodNotes 5 so far. So that's what I'm using on the iPad, GoodNotes 5. Lots of cool different colors and stuff, and it was kind of funny. I was thinking, I saw an ad for a monochrome tablet that might have been bigger than the iPad I use, but it's only one color, and it was like, I can't remember the price on it. If it was anything more than $200, I don't think it would be worth it, and I think it was more than $200 because, hey, you buy an iPad, you buy the pencil thing, and you get colors, and you get that zoom in, and you get all the other things you can do with the iPad. And this thing, I think, had like 32 gigabytes of memory, and the iPad, the lowest iPad out of the gate, has 32 gigabytes. And so it's just like, I don't know what the cheapest iPad is that can use the pencil, but the pencil version 1 is $100, and I think the cheapest iPad was probably the 299 bit or 333 or 350 or something like that. And I think I looked at this monochrome tablet, and it was like, I think the monochrome tablet was like $400. So I was like, okay. So it just seems from a pricing point, but hey, it's probably really hard to compete with like an iPad. And oh yeah, the program that I use, I think, might be $15. And yeah, and it's not subscription based, so it's none of that kind of bad stuff. And yes, I do believe subscription based programs or applications are just bad news. I got enough bills every single month that I don't need to be tagging on something regular. If I can find a different program that does even something lesser but almost as much, and has a one-time fee of purchasing the program or is free, that's where I'm going. Almost every single time. Actually, every single time. Yeah, I even canceled my Netflix and stuff. So yeah, I'm really serious about not only watching less programs, but eliminating as many monthly expenses as possible. Okay, so that all being said, I feel pretty good after the fact. I might do some more stretching, but I'm not going to subject. This really wasn't stretching, it was just leaning forward. I'm going to do a little bit of stretching, and probably do a little stretching after this video. But what stretching will I do? I remember doing this one stretch, and I'm just going to note it to myself right now. It kind of goes in 3 flavors, and here are the flavors. Putting your feet together and just straight knee, bend down. Real simple. Do this a lot, and I do this just by itself a lot, but cross your feet. Something different happens. I don't know the exact difference, but it hits your stuff at a different angle. Oh, and then cross your feet other way because you want to balance the equation, and it is kind of wobbly. There we go. Not sitting in there too long. It kind of feels interesting. Of course, got the other side of the low back. Oh, a little bit of that. There we go. And on that note, later it shall be.